My first attempt at painting a dot painting mandala. Hello everyone, I'm Caroline, and today I thought I'd show you what I've just got back from Amazon. I've been fancying trying some dot mandalas, and I don't think, oh look at the paint on me already. I don't think that I could do it with just some odd bits of tools that I've been using. For instance, I've got this little bit of wood with a pointy bit on the end that I've been using just to make some dots. But I decided that let's go for it a little bit more technically with all the right tools for the job. So I got this packet, and I'm not quite sure what's in it. There seemed to be quite an assortment of things. I mainly looked at the price. I could see that most had the same sort of assortment of bits and pieces. Whoops, the packet's broken there. But then the price, they were quite a significant difference. So I just went for the one that was the cheapest. That's me. So let's have a look what we've got in the pack. All right, so we've got some stencils. There. How can I show you the stencils? Aha, we've got some black cards, so I can show you this one stencil. And this one. And this one. And finally, this one. Oh no, there's a big one too, which is the same as that one, only a bit bigger. And we've got this dinky little palette. It's not very big, but on the other hand, you can't reuse acrylic paint, so I don't want to put too much in there at a time anyway. We've got a Faber-Castell watercolour pencil in white. We've got a selection of little glass rods, and the side of the packet is open, so they've already fallen out. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice big chunky one. Ooh, that's pretty substantial, that. Going down in size right the way through to this little tiny white one or clear one with nothing inside. So we have a nice selection of rods. Ooh, put those there. Right then, we'll open this pack next. This has got little like ball tools. How'd you get in? What's this on the end? Oh, it's like a rubber wedge. Not quite sure what you use those for, but I'm sure they'll come in useful at some point. So we have a variety of sizes of these. If I pop that one back in, you can see the selection of sizes. Let's try putting you closer. There. And we got another set. Only these ones have got brushes on the end. I think they're finer too. Let's have a look. Right, pull them out there. Yep, they're finer. Now, I wonder if those colours have got anything to do with these colours, whether it's a size. Let's have a look. No, that blue is definitely bigger than that blue. Ah, there we go. I thought they may have been colour-coded, but they're not. Oops, wrong one in the wrong packet. So we got those, and we got these. These are really heavy. Let's see if I can... Oh, no, they're very stiff to get out these packages. Go, we have lots of those, which are good for knocking things, if you want to knock something. But also these are for making dotty bits as well. Now, I've never done this before. I had a quick look at a video, and I thought, well, I don't want to spend too much time looking at a video. First thing I like to do is to try it out, and then I'll find out how to do it properly. It's just one of my things. Oh, look, you can see my light in each of these. It makes them look like little eyes. Ooh, little aliens. Right, enough playing with the reflections of my light. So we got quite a few pieces of cards. So these will be really good to practice on. Eventually, I want to be doing it on stones or Christmas baubles, things like that. So I've got some templates, and which template should we go for? I'm not really sure what I'm doing with the template. I saw people using templates, but I wasn't really concentrating. So if we put that down there, we've got this white pencil. So I'll trace all the lines. I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, but we'll do it anyway. But this is just a plain mandala. Right, so we could do with some paint. So I've got these paints, and let's have a look. Now, the one I watched right through was using pinks and purples. That was quite nice. Perhaps we do that. We'll get a pink and some purples, and then they did lighten up their colours with some white. So I think 3 will do it, because I don't think it's going to be my finest hour, so I don't really see any point in spending ages picking a selection of colours. So we'll start with the darkest. We'll go with this one. And pop some in there. We'll pop it in the bigger one because I may be using... I'll start with a big blob for the middle. So I don't think I'll use any of the ball tools. I'm going to just stick with these ones, I think. Hopefully they will be enough. Now I don't want to do that in the middle because that is enormous. On the other hand, let's have a look at this red one. That's probably a more reasonable size because the paint will come further than the edge of the glass. We'll go for this size. So I'm going to dip that in the paint. Hopefully we've got the right amount of paint on, and then, hey, my first ever mandala blob. Ooh, I'm impressed. Still, we've got a long way to go, and I think this now, we're going to waste an awful lot of paint this way, but I don't want to leave that on there in case it dries, so clean it off. Oh, I am going to be so messy at the end of this. Right, so now I think we'll go for smaller ones. I think we need smaller again. What if we go for this size? If we go there and there, or if I can use the pink one. Oh, decisions. I'm going to go for this size. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, but I'll do it anyway. And we put those on the crosses. And now I can see already one problem I've got. There's a lot of space between this row and the centre circle. So what I may do is draw another lot of circles inside. That's the only problem with these small ones. I suppose I should have gone for slightly larger and then we could gradate down. Ooh, this is really easy. I mean, well, I'm impressed with that. I think this is going to be a video where I pop a lot of music on because it's the same thing over and over. So I'll pop some music on and I'll get back to you when I've finished all my blobbing. Right, where do I go next? I think I'm going to try one of these tiny little tools out. Which ones were the really small ones? These ones. Ooh! Ah, I've spluttered my mandala. Look at that. So dropped it on there. Phew. See if we can repair that a little bit. Told you I was clumsy. There. And I can't believe this. I've now rolled it in there. Everything is going wrong. Oh, let's clean it off and see if we can fix it. Right, here we go. What do we need to fix? We need to fix some white blobs on here. This would be so much easier if it was a stone or something, but being cardboard, I've really done some damage. And we need a mid colour. And was it this size we used? I can't remember. Try. We'll use a piece of this as a, move that over there, just in case I end up splitting that. Let's use this as a trial piece. I think that's the right size, I think. Right, these things rolling around is a problem. I need to deal with that. A dot there. Right, I think we've repaired the majority of the damage. Sort of. So now we can carry on. And hopefully not damage anything else. As I was saying before I ruined everything, I'm going to try my little dot tool. So if we go for a light pink, is this too small? Oh no, I like it. Maybe it is a bit too small though. I think I'm going too small too fast. Yep, I think that's okay. Let's turn the pink around to me. Let's move these rolly things right out of the way because they're a nuisance. And we're going for pink. Put that purple there. I can't think. And I'm going to go around the outside of these whites with pink, starting from lower so it makes this sort of leaf shape. That's my plan. I suppose the problem is now I'm very close to that pink, but never mind. You'll persevere. And it's not as nice an experience, I don't think, with these little circular ones. I like the glass rods, but maybe they just need some getting used to. Yeah, carry on, and I'll see you at the end of the blobbing. Right, I don't think that those pink bits are as good as I was hoping. I did have ideas in my mind of what it would look like, and it doesn't really look like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do more white. I'm going to use this tool again to try and get used to it. I think it is just a case of learning to use it. This isn't as controllable. If you use these rods, you know exactly how big your blob is going to be every time. This is more like using a pen, and you can vary the weight and the pressure and the angle. So I'm not sure about the angle, but it is much more variable. So I'm not so keen on this. So what I'm going to try it on my practice piece. Now I wonder if I can do with this a bigger blob and then coming down to smaller blobs. That's my idea, but I think it's possibly still too small for in those sections there. Possibly. No, I'm going to have to lean over myself to do this now when it's still wet. Right, this may not go well. Let's try it out. Where should we start? We'll start at the line there. No, I think I'm going to get a bigger tool. Right, so that was the biggest one in that pack. That's not going to work. What about then we have to go for the big guns and we'll try one of our metal ones. We should try it anyway, shouldn't we? Let's try it on the paper first. Put it next door to this one and see what we're looking at. Oh, you can get quite small dots with this. And now I can see then why these are more useful than the rods, because you can vary the size of your circles. I'm going to have to make these a little bit bigger, without them crashing into each other now. I should have tried it on a piece of scrap paper first, shouldn't I? Oh, this is very difficult. It's fun, but it's not as relaxing. Probably will be when I know what I'm doing. It could be a while. I'll see you at the end of the blobbing. So that was quite fun. As I say, not as relaxing, and I think you need to practice using these tools to become more proficient at it. Now, I've got an awful lot of black showing, so I think I'm going to do some more white dots, but I'm going to try switching back to, if I can find it, here. You can't see this one because there aren't any colours inside it. I'm going to try switching back to this one and filling in a lot of these gaps with white. Give it a go. So I'll see you at the end of the blobbing. They could have done with deeper sections on this little palette, I think. I think I'll probably use one of my own palettes in the future. Possibly. I might get the hang of this one. Right, so I'm going to try blobbing this. Let's have a look what colour it is. Oh yeah, that's a lovely pale pink. In here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to play around, so I'll see you at the end of the blobbing. Turn the colour I'm using towards me. One thing I've learned is if you touch the bottom of the palette, you pick up less paint than if you just daub into the top. Right, so I'm going to try putting little dots all around here. Wish me luck. See you at the end of the blobbing. Right, so I've learned another thing, and that is you really have to make sure your design is central, because I've run out of space on the edges. Obviously, it wasn't central. I thought it was until I got to the nitty-gritty of the edges and realises, no, it's definitely not central. So I'm going to use some of this light purple now and try filling in some of these gaps. Could take a while, and I'm not really sure it's going to work. Let's give it a go. Yeah, I think I'll do circles and then work out from there. So see you at the end of the blobbing. So, but up to this point, I've still got an awful lot of gaps. Now, I'm not confident enough with these tools to really fill in those gaps. As you can see, there are lots of little blobs. Plus, I've learned out just how inaccurate I was when I was drawing the line, I was doing the dots on the lines, you can see they're just slightly out of line. So when you try merging in other lines, they don't quite work as well as they should. Shall I fill in the dots? Well, what have we got to lose? I didn't think I'd need to tape this piece of cardboard down, but can you see it starting to dome in the middle? Don't know if you can pick it up, because it is starting to get quite wet now. So next time I would actually stick it down. So now I'm just going to randomly fill in any gaps I can see with this colour and this stylus, just to make it a little bit less black. Right, let's get on with the last bit of dotting. See you at the end. I filled in a few of the dots there. I think I wouldn't do that again because everything else is so symmetrical. I think putting the random dots doesn't work so well. But now I'm noticing the purple is starting to dry almost black. So I am going to take my life in my hands again. Where's my little thin one? It's the most awkward one to find because it is the smallest one that's got no lines in. And what I'm thinking of doing is putting a little blob of a lighter purple on top of the darker purple and see what it looks like. Because as you can see, that one's nearly disappeared. Oh no, let's turn it around. Putting it onto dry paint is a much better effect. But I haven't got long enough to wait for this to dry. So I'm going to go around and just blob it on some anyway. See how we do. That's pretty good now. I think it's virtually dry. And I love the two-tone effect that that's making now. And I think it's essential anyway, otherwise you're just not going to see those purples when they dry. Surprising how dark that purple is drying. So let's have a recap while I'm doing this now. Rather than put some music on, I'll tell you the things I can remember that I have learned from my first time doing one of these mandalas. It's a bit clattery, sorry about that. I got something I can put this on to stop it clattering. I'll put it on a wet wipe. There. So what have I learned from making my first mandala? 1, be more accurate when I'm actually doing the like stenciling. 2, follow the stenciling very accurately because I was a little bit slapdash and I didn't follow it extremely well, and I was making straight lines, but I hadn't drawn those lines, and what I think is straight and what was really straight was slightly different, and that makes life very difficult. I wouldn't again use random dots. I would always make sure that I had much more paint than I think I needed to, because you can't pick it up, especially with those metal ball tools. It's not so bad with the flat end on this, but the round end's really difficult to pick the paint up on. I've learned that you need a lot more practice before those ball tools do exactly what you want them to do, which I still haven't got to that point. I've learned that these are the most relaxing ways to do a mandala, is the glass rods. And I've learned that it's just so much fun. And if it goes wrong, again, with all my art, you all see my art. You see me going wrong. You can have a good laugh and think, oh, good grief, how did she manage that? But I don't mind. But you can do this at home. And if it goes wrong, just put it in the bin. If you're that embarrassed by it, you can hide it or put it in the bin and do another one. And it is very therapeutic. So even if you just never really get very good at it, you just enjoy doing it, then it's worth doing. Oh, another thing, this with the glass rod reminds me very much of diamond painting. I don't know if you've ever done it, where you get all those little tiny plastic diamondy looking things. Somebody bought me one and I really enjoyed doing it. I found it very therapeutic. But oh, you end up with little diamonds everywhere. This is a way of doing it without little diamonds ending up on the carpet, in your clothing, up your nose. So I'm going to stop now. Oh, I want to do a white blob in the middle of there. I shouldn't, should I? White isn't going to be the right colour. What colour could I do? If I get my green rod, And I'll need a bigger one. Bigger rod. We'll go for the blue one. Yep. Go for the blue one, and we'll go for something really light, like the pink. This could completely ruin it, okay? Let's give it a try. Still too wet. That's not too bad though, is it? I'd love to do a little dot in the middle of those white ones too. I'm fiddling, I know, but I'm loving it. It's dark purple. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit splutty. It's not very round. But I think we're doing okay. So I've learned a lot by doing this first mandala painting. Now I'm going to go away and try to learn how to do it properly. But I do find it very enjoyable to just go for something and then go, okay then, let's see if I can figure out how to do this without anybody showing me. And one day I might get it right. So there we go, there's my first ever mandala. Now it leaves a lot to be desired, but when you think you can do that on a first attempt, and if you let it dry, you won't get all these splutty bits. And if you don't split it when you lose all your tools over it, that's another thing I want to tell you. I've learned these things are a menace. They will roll straight on top of your work and split it. So be careful, they're right out of the way. But no, I think that this is the sort of thing that I would recommend people try if they're looking for something new to do. And if that's my first attempt, fortunately, I can only get better. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please give me a thumbs up and I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.